Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's football show here on STV. The main talking points on tonight's programme: Scotland and England will defy FIFA and wear poppies on their black armbands for the World Cup qualifier coming up next Friday. Robbie Neilson is on the lookout for a winger in the January transfer window for Hearts, and Brendan Rodgers seems to be on a revenge mission against Inverness Cally Thistle after slipping up the last time they played them at the Tulloch Stadium. That's just a few of the talking points on tonight's programme. Alan Ruff is alongside me, Peter Martin, and later on in the show our bootroom guest will be Clyde manager Barry Ferguson, Ruffy, and he'll be sitting hopefully in your seat, which will be good. We'll get a wee chat with him and ask him a few questions, obviously with Scotland against England at Wembley coming up, because he was actually a player who played in a winning side there.
Yes, and I've said all along, I thought Barry Ferguson was fantastic when he pulled on that Scotland jersey. He's the kind of player that we don't have now, somebody who pulls the strings in midfield, very comfortable on the ball. And I remember one game in particular, I think you were there that night in Italy. I think single-handedly he just about took on that whole Italian side. Unfortunately we lost in the end, but he was absolutely superb up against some quality players.
Yeah, and we moaned about him even when he was in that side, Ruffy.
Well, we didn't. Some people did, you know, and it just shows you now that how much you need that kind of player in international football.
Yep. Okay, Ruffy, we have our poppies on because I think everybody has the right to either wear them or indeed the right not to wear them. Now, Scotland and England are involved. The Prime Minister, Theresa May, has already expressed her outrage at FIFA not allowing Scotland and England to wear poppies as a mark of respect to people that have fallen and lost their lives in World War I. Initially, but I'm sure it stretches in many people's memories to the other war as well. It's kind of a grown arms and legs, this, Ruffy, now. Yeah,
I'm hoping that, as usual, when things like that do happen, that FIFA back down. I would like to think there's somebody in that organisation who will realise what we're all talking about here. And I know that you've made it quite rightly that if you don't want to wear one, then don't wear one. You know, but the point is that they shouldn't be making people not wear one. It's an important part of a lot of people's lives, and football was a mainstay during these wars, and the people that were lost were associated to clubs as well. So, I mean, why shouldn't we wear poppies?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. There's a strong link at Heart of Midlothian, and on many an occasion the entire squad is down there in the West End to pay tribute to them. But this is an international situation which I think, you know, if we're looking at it, then FIFA could impose some sort of penalty, which again Stuart Regan I think has intimated that they would fight all the way.
Yeah, I still think it's worth a hit. You know, I still think, I don't think it'll be a disastrous hit. I don't think it'll be points deducted. It might be a fine or a sanction. Don't do that again, something like that. So I think it's worth going against FIFA and let's take the consequences.
Even a fine, though, Ruffy, is, I think it would be an outrage.
Yeah, of course it would be an outrage. But I mean, why do you keep letting these people, you know, I think Theresa May made a point very properly, you know, get your own house in order before you start picking on ours.
Yeah, that's not quite the issue that I think we should base the argument on. I think we should have a sensible and constructive one. The one thing that I would suggest is, you know, I'd love to have a statement from FIFA to establish how they think it's a political statement, and the counterbalance of that, I'm sure some people would suggest, well, will there be other countries who are able to put some kind of emblem on to reflect wars that they want to remember their dead, and then it just opens up to all and sundry. And I think the Republic of Ireland were able to actually put on some form of remembrance of the Easter 1916 uprising. So, you know, it does open up a strong debate, Ruffy, to be perfectly honest with you. But I think with this one, especially when the sentiment behind it is purely to honour people who have passed and lost their lives in the war, I just cannot see any credible stance from FIFA on this. I do hope, like you, they back down. That's one issue. Certainly not going to be the worst of them. Robbie Neilson will move on to now at Hearts. Of course, Hearts lost Sam Nicholson, and he wants to try and strengthen the January transfer window. I can understand that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they've slipped up in recent weeks and they want to get back on winning ways. Obviously he'll identify where he's short. Unfortunately, his two main strikers aren't scoring goals. You know, maybe it's the supply to these strikers. You know, maybe that's what he's looking at. I know he brought the boy Cowie in to supply the goods, but he seems to be playing more in a central midfield role. So maybe he needs an out-and-out winger to supply the two strikers for the movement that they have in the box.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Nicholson's a loss. I mean, I think he's a great young player.
Yeah, I think he is. You know, I think he's the kind of player that supporters want to go along and see. He's got a bag of tricks. You know, he can score terrific goals, and he's exciting to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking of terrific goals, I just want to refer to last night, which was, of course, the Champions League games. I mean, the Tottenham game was dire. I picked the wrong game, but I should have actually watched Real Madrid in that 3-3 draw. The opening goal after about 50-odd seconds from Gareth Bale was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, comes across 20 yards out and rifles the left foot into the roof of the net.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you sign a $300,000 a week contract. You're nice and relaxed, you get and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And screamers like that. But, you know, I mean, that's why he's on. That's why they wanted to keep a hold of him. And Champions League, that's what it's all about, scoring fantastic goals. And it's just magnificent.
Yeah, and again, I just digress slightly. It's still on an international scene. If you were on 300 odd grand a week, Ruffy, do you think you would have got to the Kubias shot at Peru in Scotland? Would you have made a better effort? Would there have been a save? Either one of them?
Who knows, you know? not that would have made me, you know, try harder, but I'd have had a smile on my face.
It's just that everything you suggest on forum relates to somebody's wage.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it in my head. I need to get inside your mindset when it comes to players play well if they're on 300 grand a week. They relax more. It's as simple as that. So if you're on that sort of money, phone us and we'll get you involved in our five-a-side team. Okay, the Champions League last night. Here's another little point quickly that I want you to dissect. Tottenham mentioned the fact that they're not happy with their results at Wembley, and I thought Maurizio Pochettino nailed it. You know, is it all about the park? I mean, I can remember Celtic fans moaning about Hampden when they had to play there. If you're a good team, you're a good team.
Yeah, and the quality of the pitches now are just so good. You know, you would think the quality of player they've got would be able to play anywhere. Sometimes the surroundings aren't the same with the supporters, but I don't think you should be using that as an excuse.
Yeah, absolutely. Couple of games we want to talk about. Partick Thistle, Aberdeen in a moment. Celtic, Stuart Armstrong was talking today in praise of Brendan Rodgers. Obviously he looks a better player in the middle of the park now, and Celtic on a revenge mission according to the manager. Still rankles with them losing their 100% record with that draw up at the Tulloch Stadium at Celtic Inverness at the weekend, and Armstrong has been praising the manager for improving him as a player.
Obviously a change from last season with the style and the tempo we play at. A lot of different changes and a lot of things to get used to, but it's been, from a personal point of view, very good. I've been learning a lot, and my performances of late have been improving. I hope I can keep on improving on that too. We had a talk at the start of the season of what you expected from me, and I've been trying to deliver that in training and working hard, and I managed to get some opportunities in the team, and taking those opportunities is important because we have a competitive squad and everyone wants to get in.
Is he a better player?
Yeah, I think he is now that we're seeing him.
Yeah.
You know, we have to say that Beaton hadn't been playing as poorly, he might not have got a chance.
Is he a potential Scotland call-up in the future?
Yeah, I think he is. I think the more games he gets, the more experience he'll get, the more confidence he'll get, and I think Scotland will get the benefit of that.
Okay, good news for Motherwell. Chris Cadden's extended his contract by a year to 2019. I think he's also got a real chance to become a top player.
Yeah, I think anybody we speak to from Motherwell can see him week in, week out, and they can see he's improving, and certainly getting international games as well under his belt will help him.
Can your old team Partick Thistle cause a problem tomorrow night night against Aberdeen.
Yeah, not a great record against Aberdeen, unfortunately, but I think Aberdeen have got Thistle at the wrong time. Obviously, they're winning games and the confidence will be high.
Okay. Thanks to Ruffy for that. Coming up, our boot-room guest in the next part of the programme is a man who strutted his stuff with distinction for Scotland and, of course, Rangers, Blackburn Rovers and Newcastle. I'll try and get Ruffy out of that chair and move somebody in who was well used to having 300 grand a week. Barry Ferguson joins us next. Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. I'm delighted to say our boot-room guest is Clyde manager Barry Ferguson. Barry, it's a huge season for you. Is it a season where you have to get out of that division?
Yeah, well, I would be hoping to get promoted. Listen, I'm being respectful. There's a lot of good teams in our league, but this year I think I've got a team that's more than capable of gaining promotion. It was disappointing last season, obviously getting beaten in the final off Queen's Park. So I think I'm hopeful that we can go one better this year.
What do you have in your locker this season that maybe you didn't have last season?
A goal scorer. I thought that's something we lacked, and obviously everybody will know Peter McDonald. He was one that I chased over the summer. There was a number of clubs looking to sign Pizzo, so I was happy that we got him on board. He's been excellent. He's doing a bit of coaching as well, Pizzo, but he's been excellent. His experience and round about the dressing room, he's been excellent for me.
Yeah, I've had a look at him play for you guys in the match at Albion Rovers. Mm-hmm. He'll put the work rate in, of course, and you'll be the type of manager that when he doesn't want to train, you'll put him in kid gloves as well and make sure he's okay, because the last thing you want from him is him to get injured.
Over the past season, he's had a few injury problems when he was at Morton. He never played as much as he would have liked. So we kind of wrap him in cotton wool because we need him for a Saturday. Listen, he looks after himself. He goes to the gym and does his own stuff. And we kind of leave him out on the Tuesday, and he'll train with the team on the Thursday. So he gets a wee bit of a ribbon off the boys. But listen, he's really important for us. He's really important, and it's important that we get him on the pitch on a Saturday. That's my main concern. Yeah,
if your team's growing, as a manager, are you growing?
Yeah, listen, the first season that I took over at Clyde, it wasn't my team in terms of personnel. Last season, I built a squad that I was happy with. And obviously we get beaten in the final, so I thought I had to make a few changes, go with a bit more pace, but it's difficult, Peter, at that level. There's not a lot of money, so I need to duck and dive a wee bit and try and make things at the club as professional as possible. And I think the word spread round about. All the guys, all the players know each other, so that was a big thing for me. Trying to make things as professional as possible, make training as enjoyable as possible as well. And we managed to get a lot of good players. I mean, you came and watched us against Albion Rovers. Darren's got a really good team at Albion Rovers, but I thought we were more than a match for them. They're a league above and doing really well in League One, but I thought we were a better team in the night. And I thought, you were saying after the game, you were surprised with the quality of some of the play as well.
Yeah, and with that in mind, you're only 4 points away from Forfar, and this game at the weekend is huge against Elgin.
Yeah, it's a massive game. Elgin are a good team. We went early in the season, we travelled up there and we beat them 2-0. But they've picked on, they've kicked on for then. So, massive game. We've got a game in hand in Elgin, so well, listen, I never say it's a must win, but we have got to go and win that game. There's no doubt in my mind, but we know it'll be a tough game because they've certainly picked up over the last few weeks. Yeah,
are those two clubs your main competitors, or do you see another element from elsewhere?
Yeah, obviously Forfar have come down for the league above. They're a strong unit. Gary Boland's got a good team there. Elgin, Arbroath, still in Albion have picked up under Martin Corrigan. There's a lot of teams listening. Chappie's got a decent team at Annan, but it's a tough league. A lot of people don't realise there's a lot of good teams with a lot of good players, and it's about consistency, and that's the thing that we need to get into our game this year. being consistent and no conceding a lot of goals. And again, I signed Ross Perry, who you'll know for was at Rangers. He's been an excellent addition for us. He's been solid at the back. He's a leader for me, and I think it's always important to have a strong spine.
Yeah. 2 or 3 quick points to finish then. Clyde apart, you're probably the best placed manager. Yeah, well,
I don't know about that.
I wish you were the best paid manager in that division, but not that you're short of a bob or two, but I've got to ask you about you as a player. Scott Brown is back in the international fold. Is it the right move? Can you understand or can you believe the flack that's been coming around his decision to make a U-turn?
Well, I can understand why Gordon Strachan's wanting him in the team. First and foremost, he's for me, he's been the best player this season in Scotland. Last season, he'll admit himself it wasn't his best season, but that was hampered with a few injuries and maybe coming back too quick. I don't know exactly the reasons, but this season he looks to me like a different animal under Brendan Rodgers. I don't know whether the international break and the rest it's helped him, but listen, we need all our best players when we go down to play England at Wembley, and certainly Scott Brown's one of the best players, there's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah. You won at Wembley with Scotland, can we do it again?
Of course we can. You've got to, there's no point in going down there thinking, oh, maybe come away with a point. You've got to get down with the mindset that you can go and beat them. I certainly think we can go and beat them. Listen, there's no doubt that they've got a lot of quality players, Peter. They've got world-class players for me, but if we stick together as a group and get in about them, there's no doubt that we can come away with a victory.
Yeah, and the last point, you're one of those men who will look on at your old club and see what's happening there, second in the league, but they've got a guy there that you know well, Joey Barton. It's one of these long-running sagas. It doesn't look as if it's going to end with Joey Barton wearing a Rangers jersey again.
No, well, obviously I seen it. The news broke yesterday. I don't know exactly what's going on. Listen, when Rangers signed Joey, playing against him and knowing him, obviously doing my badges with him, I thought he was going to be a real good player for Rangers. Listen, things have not worked out one way or another. And listen, just need to move on. Rangers just need to move on and go on. They're sitting second in the league. They had a good result. They had a difficult week of obviously the defeat against Celtic at Hampden, dropping 2 points against St Johnstone. But listen, they come back with a bang against a Kilmarnock team who have been doing really well under Lee Clark in the past few weeks. But will Joey play Rangers again? It doesn't look like it, which for me is sad. But listen, you just need to move on. Just need to move on and get on with it.
Yeah, have they got enough, or do you think that they should be looking now with Cranchar out to try and bolster it in January to try and make sure that they are in the mix for second? Do you think they're going to finish second?
If I'm being honest, I do think they will finish second. I think it'll be close between Rangers and Aberdeen. Look, Derek McInnes has got a good team up there with a lot of good players. I still think with the budget and with the players that Rangers have got, they should be finished second. Listen, they're not going to finish first. I think there is a gap there between Rangers and Celtic. I think Celtic will run away with it. But Rangers have just got to try and keep on their coattails and finish second. There'll be a good season, and I think they will finish second. Regarding January, it's whether Dave King comes up with some money to go and bolster, because it's always a good time to add 1 or 2 quality players, and obviously Cranchard's been out now for the rest of the season. They will probably need to look to bring 1 or 2 in.
Yeah, and with that manager in charge, who's always emphasised, and you'll know about it now with Clyde, you know, that he doesn't want spending to be reckless. He wants to use the money wisely. Is that, when you mentioned Dave King there, is that the priority? Do you think they've got to try and find him some money from somewhere in January to give him that helping hand? Yeah,
I think it's important that he tries to find them some money. Listen, I think the days have gone where Rangers are going to go out and spend £3-4 million. Look, we all know that. I don't think they want to get in the mess they were in before. But listen, some of his signings have certainly impressed me. I mean, when people were saying they were signing the boy Windass and that for Accrington Stanley, there's a lot of good players in the lower leagues down in England, and I think that's a market that Rangers are probably need to go into again, because as I said, they've not got the money.
Yeah, just to finish, prediction, England-Scotland?
me being realistic, we can go down there and get a win. There's no why. Listen, I know it's been disappointing the last few games, but as I said before, they've got to go down with the mentality that you can beat them. And I think England, listen, I'm not going to kid them to on. Everybody knows I've got world class players, but I don't think they play well as a team. I think they're full individuals. And if we can get together, and obviously Scott Brown and guys like Scott Brown, as I said, and Dan Fletcher, get in people's ears and say, listen, we can do this. There's no doubt that we can go down and get a win, because we're only 1 point off a playoff. I mean, it's not the end of the world. And if we beat England down there, we go level with them. We're only 3 points behind them, I think. So let's get down there and be positive and hopefully come away with a win.
Thanks, Barry. That's just about it for this evening's programme. Join us on the extended programme at 6:30 on STV Glasgow and Edinburgh tomorrow. Thanks for watching tonight.